Today is Monday, August 7th, August 8th, and I'm out here in my field looking to see how my blue spruce did. We have had a horrible season this year for rain. It's really humid today. It's been humid for days and it rained. It's starting to rain. But here's what all of my blue spruce look like. Dead. They look completely dead. Now, if you bend it, it still bends a little. So it's definitely got some life inside. I don't know if they'll come back. Like this one. As you can see, I should come out here and trim around it, but I'm thinking that maybe if I leave the tall grass, it may help it. I don't know. All 100 of them are like that. I have yet to find one that looks like it's decent. I got 2 peach trees from this company too, and they're replacing them. They didn't do anything. They never leafed out after I got them. Just, I don't know. I hate to badmouth a company. They are replacing my peach trees with something next year, next spring, because it's August. It's past growing time. But I don't know if you can see all those little purple tags. And that's where all the trees were. And they ran this way, all the way down. Not completely down to the end, I didn't buy enough. So I did plant them closer than I should have, only because I feared that we were going to lose some. And looks like we lost the majority of them. So out here, the neighbor came and hayed. He hayed this field, he hayed over there, and when he hayed, I asked him not to run over my trees, which were marked like those, but some of them were much taller. I had a couple walnut trees that were like, I don't know, 3 feet tall maybe, and he ran them over. So I haven't gone to see. He said they were dead, and they weren't. When I went out and looked, you could still see that there was some green. One of them looked like a branch coming very low to the ground. So I don't know if that one's going to make it, which is kind of disappointing because those are my walnut trees, my hazelnuts, sugar maples for syrup, and what else was in there? I don't know. Oh, elderberries. I don't remember what else was in there. I'm weed whacking. I got to get this stupid barbed wire up out of here. So, but if you look where he hayed that's been tilled over and over again. And when you look at the grass, you shouldn't see. Here's a tag from something. It's not attached to anything anymore, so I don't know if that's where a tree was or if that's where the tag got knocked off. But that hasn't grown much. Whereas when you come in here, see how the grass is pointy? When the grass is pointy, that's a good sign. That's when you would almost start letting in animals to graze on it. I would let it get taller. See, so here's another tree that they just ran over, which is really disappointing because I spent a lot of time, money, and energy out here. And, yeah. So we've worked out an agreement with the neighbor because he has all the equipment and we don't have any equipment to hay, and I need hay. And we ended up buying hay at $4 a bale, which, you know, we were going to have to buy hay anyway. That's how I looked at it. Anyway, look at this point of glass. I'm going to get distracted. You see that Timothy coming up, how low to the ground that is? We're going to keep an eye on this one because the neighbor told me you can't get 2 cuttings a year, and I'm going to call Kaka on that. Look at this one. I think that you could if you watched what you're doing and if you had good soil, not dirt, you're not plowing. I'm not seeing my walnut trees. I'm really disappointed. It's you know, farming and it's kind of got its ups and downs. And it's harder because, you know, I'm working almost full time. And well, I'm working, what am I working? 20, 30, about 34 hours a week, 35 hours a week. So pretty much full time. It's 2 part-time jobs. And then I'm trying to farm on top of it at the same time. So it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time. It's a lot of energy. And we couldn't afford a place that was just farm ready, so we had to buy one that needed some work. So that's what I've been doing, is working. So it's disappointing because the trees didn't grow. My orchard trees are growing well. My apple, cherry, plum, and pear. So there are good points. The garden is doing great. We did get the fields plowed for the most part. We got part of it brush hogged back there. So there's ups and downs. You just have to focus on the positive and just get up every morning and, as Justin Rhodes says, do your 1%. 1% a day. One little thing. That's all you got to do. One thing and it'll make you feel better. That's what I'm hoping. So, anyway, so if you look, I could brought you out because if you see, this is really light grass. It's not very tall. It's coming back. There's a little bit of purple clover, but look how much taller and faster that purple clover grows. So I don't know why I would plant white clover. I would plant purple clover instead. The horses will eat it, cows will eat it, sheep will eat it, goats will eat it. I mean, look how big that clover plant is compared to some of those white clover plants. Now, the white clover smells much better. That is trefoil. That's all the yellow stuff out there. I'm going to talk to the neighbor. He talked about wanting to take his combine through and combine for the seeds. So I need to ask if he's going to do that, if he thinks he's going to be able to. Because if not, I'm going out and mowing it because I don't want it in my pasture. My horses don't really like it. See, here's one of the trees that got run over. It had a pink tag because it was a different planting. So, wait. Let me put my glasses on. That's a clover seed. I thought maybe it was a leaf for starting put my fingers out of the way for the tree to make it. I mean, it seems to have really good roots. I don't know if it can make it because of the lack of, you know, leaves, the photosynthesis. And there's no other trees around here, around the area to send it support. So, in case you guys haven't read The Secret Lives of Trees, I suggest you do, and you will learn that trees talk to each other, to the fungi and the microbes in the ground, and they all have a symbiotic relationship. So they all live together and they help each other. And if you had other trees around, it might try and save that tree as a baby tree, because that baby tree would have sent out some SOS pheromones through its root system to the other trees and the surrounding microbes. It's really interesting. They did studies on Mount St. Helens when Mount St. Helens exploded and how that affected the biomes. And it's some very interesting... There's another yellow tag. I'm just going to leave it for now. I need to go back. So this was the part he didn't hay, and this is all old Timothy. And I need to get in here and knock it all down so that the organic matter will go back into the ground. This is low. It might have a little bit of water in it. Yeah, there's some water in it. Not a lot. I have boots on. So if you look at that part that was over there tilled, back to the story. Go away, fly. And you look at this grass, and this was hayed at the same time. But this was never tilled because this was horse pasture, where horses were allowed to graze. And look at how much taller and fuller it is. I mean, it's night and day. To me. There's already Timothy heads coming up, brand new Timothy heads if you look. And it's beginning of August, so we're not supposed to have our first hard frost till October. We had a week in September. It was good weather. Might be tall enough to get some more hay. Now, you're not going to get the best hay, but you would get hay. And come February, March, when there's 3, 4, 5 feet of snow and your horses don't have anything to eat, or your cattle or your sheep, not the best hay is better than no hay at all. So I think I've pretty much decided that I am going to do no-till, which is going to go completely against what my neighbor believes, because as I said, he believes in tilling it. He wants to till all of that up, and I have told him I don't want to. So, he could very well say that he doesn't want to do it next year, which means then I have to find somebody else to come out and make hay for me, which is kind of hard because it's hard work. And even though we paid him for the hay, he got all the extra hay, plus he's getting to store stuff in our barn this winter. So he got the better end of the deal, I think. I mean, I know he had to work, but we helped him unload, and we offered to help. And I've paid for any seed that's gone in over the ground because I'm frost seeding. So, we'll see. I don't want to till, though. I don't believe in it. I think that it's... Because if you look here at how good the grass is, right? Look at all the thick grass, clover, good things is. Not a lot of dandelion, okay? Here's a dandelion right here. Here's clover. Here's a little bit of dandelion in like a low ground area. Dandelion is a taproot. Dandelions go down and pull up, oh gosh, all the minerals from below. And they can, you've tried to pull dandelions out of your garden. They can go down 2, 3, 4, 5 feet. A big dandelion plant. Well, they pull it all up to their leaves. Now look at this section here, has a whole bunch of dandelions. When these dandelion greens die in the winter, and then they're going to decay, all those minerals that's in them is going to decay on the top of the soil. And then that's going to trickle down into your ground. I mean, it's just common sense. So instead of me going out and spending all the money to fertilize, first I'd have to till it. At least once, maybe twice. Then I'd have to seed it. Then I'd have to fertilize it. And then I would have to hope that it rains. Because if it doesn't rain, it's not going to do well. Because seed needs moisture. I'm going to have to put minerals in it. Or I could cut this down short as it goes. Let the horses graze on it. Let the weeds, they're not weeds, people. That's just the propaganda that these pharmaceutical and chemical companies want you to believe in. Dandelion's edible, clover's edible, all this stuff they're telling you are weeds, most of it, 99% of it, is edible. And that our ancestors used to come out and eat it. They didn't have to spend $1 million fertilizing, tilling, using chemicals, Roundup. They didn't do that. They grazed their animals on it. They saved their animal poop. They spread it on top to make it nice compost and make some good carbon added to their dirt. And they ate what was in their yard. You can cut these dandelion greens, steam them, and eat them. You can blanch them and freeze them and use them like spinach. Your horses will eat them, your goats will eat them, your sheep will eat them, your cows will eat them. You save the roots on the ones you do pull up. You dehydrate them in your oven. You don't even need a dehydrator. Grind them up and use them as a tea. That helps any urinary infections, urinary tract infections. It flushes your liver. It flushes your gallbladder. And guess what? You can't overdose on it. You don't have to pay for it. It's growing wild right out in your yard. One of them crazy people, I guess, who just believes that you should do what you've got in your yard. And you know what? God put all this stuff here for us to use. And we've many, many times thought that we were much smarter than that and that we could do better. But we can't. So, kind of got off of my little soapbox there, sorry. But I'm very, there's a burn pile. Very, very in sync with what I think we need to do to restore our lands. We need good soil. I mean, look at this. Look how tall that is and lush that is. This was just hayed 2 weeks ago. This whole section right here. And it's already up that high. And this is the no-till section. And when you look over there, there's bald spots. That was the tilled section. And it wasn't tilled this year. It was probably tilled 10 years ago. 10, 9, 8 years ago. But it was tilled every year for probably 10, 15 years. So it hasn't had a chance to build up any of the good stuff that you need. So Anyway, one thing to come away with this little blurb of mine today is that although the trees died, and although he ran over my nut trees, my garden is going great. I got quite a bit of my chore done today. My weed whacker's out of battery. So I got all the way down that fence line, all the way down this side, so I just need to do that back end. And I can string my electric to keep neighbor's stupid husky out from attacking my animals. Trying to get my electric fence up and running fast. I thought I could wait until, snow came and it'd be easier to do. I wouldn't have to fight with all the brushes and stuff. But come to find out, they rescued the dog a year ago because it used to live in town. It would go and kill the neighbor's chickens. So, and being as how it's husky and it's already a killer, killed a couple of our meat birds, we know it'll be back. The minute it can get out of its stupid little electric underground crappy fence system, it'll be out and it'll come over and it'll try and kill my animals again. All of them are over there now. I do have my babies out. Artie's out. It's been over a week, and vet said only to keep him quiet for a few days, and I kept him quiet for a week. So he is out and about, being a big boy. He is in with the girls. She should not be in heat until September, so I'm running a little bit of a risk with him getting her pregnant before I want her to, versus him getting eaten by the neighbor's dog. So, or I keep him locked in the barn all the time, which is not healthy for any animal to keep them in the stall. There's another thing, another soapbox of mine. I hate people who have animals and keep them in the stall. But anyway, I am going to get going. Isn't that a beautiful bush? I'm not sure what it is. Got a monarch on it. There's peonies in there too. Oh, and those are the blankets I had down in Artie's stall when I didn't want him with his stitches and semi-open wounds laying. They're ready for me to wash. I hung them so the rain came and washed most of the crap off. They were full of not sawdust, but shavings and dirt and some blood, and I didn't want to put that right in my washing machine. So if I hung them for a couple of days, the wind and the rain would get most of it out, and then I'll bring them in today and I'm going to wash them. So talk to you later. Bye.